Nelson here. Welcome to A Father's Note, promoting fathers through building men. It's so important that we always stand up for our fathers. We want you to know we're with you. We're standing behind you 110%.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to A Father's Note. I am your host for this evening, Sharella Nelson. As you all know, I am the Mrs. to the Mr. I'm his sugar in his iced tea, and he's the icing on my cupcake. Yes, we go back. We go down just like that. We're just like peanut butter and jelly, inseparable. So tonight we have a great show for you, and it's entitled What Wise Women Want. This is part two. But before I get into that, I would like to let you all know about some resources that's available for you. And the first one is it's a book. It's entitled Diary of a Virtuous Wife. It is by my mother in love, Mrs. Rosa Nelson. And it's for anyone who is walking through infidelity, dealing with that, any problems in their marriage. This book here will help you, okay? It's Diary of a Virtuous Wife, and it's entitled How to Live with Infidelity and Win Doing It God's Way. If you would like the book, you can cash app her. Her cash app is there, $ Rosa B 80, and we will be sure and get that book out to you as soon as possible. Our next resource we would like to advise you of, and it is by one of my co hosts, and it's entitled Just Between Us Girls by Mrs. Dominique Dumerville. And let me tell you, I had a sneak peek at it, because I know the author, okay? So it is amazing. You ladies want to get that. Listen, for yourselves, for your daughters, for your best friend, your BFF, you need to purchase that book, and it will be ready soon, hot off the press next month, hopefully. But she will give you more information on that. Next, we would also like you to know and join if you're available on Thursday evening at 7 p.m. for a podcast. This is by one of our dear brothers. His name is Aaron Gibbons, and it's entitled Real Talk Podcast. Listen, he deals with real life issues. Okay. This is not some made up stuff. These are things that we go through every single day. But his show is amazing. So if you're not busy, tune in on Thursday evening at 7 p.m. for Real Talk Podcast. And last but certainly not least is another couple that's very near and dear to us. They also have a podcast, and it's entitled Let's Talk Marriage. Okay. And it's by Elias and Taisha Carvel. They come on right after us Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Listen, you guys want to support these podcasts, these authors, just support each other. It's so vitally important to our community, to us as a person. So many people say, well, I didn't know who to go to, or I didn't know who to talk to, or I didn't have anybody to help me. Where we're offering you these resources that we know of. These are good, wholesome people. They all love the Lord. And I mean, it's just amazing. So if you need any of these services, you know where to go. Okay. So tonight we are going to go ahead and get it started. And I'm going to invite my co hosts in. My first one, both of them are some beautiful ladies. You all have seen them plenty of times. They're just amazing. And I love them so much. The first one is Mrs. Katya Fillmore. She's a wife. She's a mother. She's an entrepreneur. She's a business owner. This lady has so many things going on within her. I can keep up. Okay. She loves to write. She loves poetry. I mean, she's just amazing and just has a beautiful, beautiful spirit. So, Mrs. Katya Fillmore, welcome.
Hey, everybody. Hey, y'all.
And our next co host is the one I mentioned that has this amazing book that's coming out, and that is Mrs. Dominique Dumerville. She is amazing. Okay. She put the A in amazing and awesome. I'm not trying to build them up or puff them up or anything. These my sisters, y'all.
Amen.
Celebrate them.
Yes, Miss D.
Yes, yes. Come on. Show them some love this evening.
Well, thank you so much. And it's an honor for us to be here once again. And just this is our heart to help, to serve, to inform, to bless. That's all we came here to do. So, gentlemen, don't forget, get your ladies on. Because if you want them to get some what wise women want, tell them to come on now.
Yes, yes. And that's our purpose on tonight. She basically just explained it to you. We just want to help men understand women
Mhm.
and help women to understand who they are and the influence that they carry. Okay. So it's not about bashing or anything of that nature. We don't do that. We don't do that here. We just want to encourage, empower, and uplift. And we want to help with relationships, with marriages, and just with the individual as a whole. Okay. So, in tonight's broadcast, we're going to do a recap of what we discussed last month, right, ladies? Y'all remember?
Yes. Yes.
So, our five nuggets that we had went through last month. I'm sorry. It was women want a man that loves and honors God first.
Mhm.
Women want to be loved. Women want to be protected. Women want to be provided for, and women want to be a man's first choice. Now, that was what we discussed last month.
Mhm.
Tonight, we're going to go into our next five. But before we get there, listen, gentlemen, ladies, get on the line, call, text, do what you got to do, start a watch party. Tell everybody, come on, pull up to a father's note on Facebook Live or on YouTube Live, and let's have a conversation. Y'all ready for this? Let's go.
Oh, we're ready.
So, ladies, we have something for you to do. Okay.
Mhm.
This is going to be an interactive session.
Mhm.
So, we have our people on, we have our ladies on. We have a few on there, I see. Okay, so this is what we want you to do, ladies. Take out your pens, your tablets, your notebooks, whatever writing instruments you have, your journals. Come on, take them out because we're going to take notes. We're going to stop and jot. Okay, we're going to write down and we're going to go back and we're going to reflect on those things because we want to answer this question: what wise women want? We're going to do that. So before we put our five up, the five that we went, sat down, we had a little round table meeting before we came to you tonight. And we wrote our own five down. So before we put those up, we want to hear from you out there in the audience. So we're going to give you 2 minutes to write down your answers, what you want. Let them know exactly what you want. Okay. So we got 2 minutes and it starts now. Let's go.
Well, while they're writing, Ms. Katya, did you want to put that disclaimer out there?
Absolutely. So, ladies, here's the thing. We never want you guys to feel, you ladies or gentlemen, feel like we're coming at you, we're condemning you. What we are actually here to do is to help you. And the reason we are qualified is because we've been through some things. We're not always who you guys see today. We were not always here. We didn't always have this wisdom. It was a process. We were corrected. We were disciplined. Sometimes we were beaten
Mm,
by God. Okay. And we had to go through what we want to help you guys get through, right? Because if you don't go through something, you won't be able to help someone else. And God really brought us on the other side. So today, our disclaimer is we're not speaking because we don't know. We're not speaking because we don't understand. We're not speaking because we don't empathize with you. We do. We can speak on it because we've been there. We've been through it. We haven't gone through everything, but we've been through some things. We've been through enough. And we just appreciate you guys for coming on and allowing us into your homes, into your lives, into your situations. And trust us, we take this so seriously. We are praying for each and every one of you. So please, while we're doing that, keep us prayed for. So we love you.
And just to add to that, I wrote this down just to make it very clear. We didn't just wake up like this.
Come on.
There were many experiences, like Miss Katya said, and testimonies and things that happened to pave the way for us to become strong and effective women, and for us to be in strong and effective marriages. Because marriage was God's idea from the very beginning.
Yes.
And do you know the fight has been on since then? It's like the enemy hates marriage and will try anything to destroy it. But we're standing in the gap, and we're standing with men and women who want to fight for their marriage. And this is why our focus tonight is on what wise women want. Because wise women will know how to keep and sustain and be effective in their relationships. And it starts with knowing what you want and then going after it and get it.
That's it. We have a comment here from Miss Geneva. She says, I want a wise man who is consistent and knows what he wants, and someone who values who I am as his helpmate.
Come on, Geneva. Come on, girl. Yes.
Absolutely. And you know what? We're going to stand in agreement and pray with you that he comes to pass, because that he comes along. Because a woman that knows her value, a woman that knows her worth, a woman who knows what she wants and who has a relationship with God, it's already done, girl. It's already done.
It is done.
And be careful of them counterfeits, because you put it out there. So watch for them counterfeits, because they're going to try to masquerade like they're it. But we got that spirit of discernment, and we're going to find the one God sent. Not the one who just came.
Hallelujah.
And we love the fact that you're actually getting on. We've seen you get on a couple of times. So that all in itself tells us that, one, you're serious. Two, that you're committed to doing the work for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because before you meet the king, honey, there is a time of preparation.
Yes, ma'am.
So, honey, we are loving the fact that you are getting on and getting prepared. Just remember, your first husband is God. And if you know how to be married to him and how to submit to him, you're not going to have a submission struggle or issue in your marriage. You're going to be able to overcome some of the things that we weren't able to overcome early on in our marriage, but God brought us through. So we are so excited for you, sweetie.
All right. Did they get the 2-minute mark yet?
Yes, they have.
All right.
Only Miss Geneva responded. So we're going to go ahead with our list. And ladies, listen, we want you all to be interactive. We want you all, hey, write it in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
What the scriptures say, I'm not trying to take you to church, but I hope you went today. But write the vision and make it plain. So right. Okay. So we're going to go ahead. And our first one is, women want to create or nurture.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. D, you want to comment on that one?
We were designed that way. We were designed to nurture. We were designed to create. I don't know a woman who doesn't want to look good. And that just doesn't happen. We got to work in that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, seeing a beautiful baby, you know, God, when God blesses you with a baby, and there's a process for that child to come forth. It has to grow and develop and grow and develop in a healthy environment. Well, God chooses us women to for that life to come forth. So that's already embedded in our DNA to nurture and to create. We don't do it alone. I know we need the seed in order to for it to happen, but I just want to say, you know, I heard something on Facebook and it always hit me. A man can get you a house, but it's the woman who provides the home.
Yes.
And I just love that. I know that even if it's a shack, even if it's a square box,
Come
I
on.
remember living in a room, but you know what? That room was our palace
That's it.
because
Mm-hmm.
you know that's what I had to work with. So that's what I made it a palace. That when my king walked in, he knew he was home.
That's it. Now, see, I took that one a little different as far as create and nurture, and I say that because you know me, I love to cook and bake, and that's how I took it. Hey, I love God put that in me to be that creator, so I create delicious meals. I create, you know, beautiful desserts and cupcakes and cakes and all of that. So it was my king. Mhm. It was him that actually propelled me to come up with Sherelle's Sugar Shack.
Wow.
Um, I was cooking and baking, you know, every day for the family, nothing major, nothing, you know. And but he said to me, he says, "You can sell this." He said, "This is so good. You can actually sell this." And I've done it from time to time when I was single just to, you know, make ends meet. But he was like, "No, you can start a business doing this." And he first talked to me about, you know, a little restaurant just doing breakfast and lunch. But I'm like, mm-mm, I can't do that because, you know, I have a well, not 9 to 5, but I have a full-time job. So I said, "Well, maybe the cakes or the cupcakes." And that's how I got started with Sugar Shack. It was him. He was the one, and I'm probably talking that one on out of order or out of turn, but I might bring it back up again. But he was the one that actually got me to do that. So when you say that women want to create and to nurture, and that's what I did. I created
Mm-hmm.
the desserts. I created the meals, and not just, you know, for us, but for all. Thank you to everyone that supported Sherelle's Sugar Shack and continue to support, but for them as well. So that's what I have to say about that one. Katya?
For me, when you said that, you know, women want to create, women want to nurture, and he saw the desire in you. He saw the
Mm-hmm.
gift in you, and he pushed you into the gift. So women want a man that's going to help push us into the path of that destiny, into that thing that God is calling us, even if it is a side hustle,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because that lets us create. That's an outlet
Mm-hmm.
for us to really be nothing but just that for ourselves. And women want that. We need that. We need the opportunity to be able to create in order for us to be effective and even happy with ourselves or within ourselves at home, you know, and giving our best. Because when you think about a woman, we wear so many hats. You know, we're mothers, we're doctors, we're nurses, we're lawyers, we're counselors, we're psychologists,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but we need something for ourselves.
Yeah.
And the fact that your husband was able to see that and push you into it says that he is the man that God chose for you. So, honey, ladies, that's one of the ways that you will know that your husband is from the Lord. He's going to help to propel you into the things that God has already destined for you. He's going to help to push you into a place where you probably wouldn't have pushed yourself by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There. And for you all that know me, you know, that's exactly it. I would not have pursued this or pushed myself to, you know, get into business. I mean, I never thought of it. And I have been doing this since I was 14 years old, but never looked at it as a business or a place of income.
And that's when you say women want to create, whether it's beautiful designs on cupcakes and cakes, whether it's books, whether it's that entrepreneur spirit in business, it is in us. Um, One of my favorite scriptures is Proverbs 31. And when we talk about that Proverbs 31 woman, she
Mhm.
was tight. She had her
Yes.
house in order. She held her relationships down. She
Yes.
had her business taken care of. She, listen, and
Yes.
that's the type of woman we want to be. We want to be that Proverbs 31 woman. We want to be one of those wise women. And we want you to be one of those wise women too.
Exactly. Okay, so we have a comment here from Miss Crystal. She says, one is a man who will help and model the way for our children. Okay. And
That's number
then,
one.
oh, look at him. My wife has always been a nurturer for our entire home. That's my wife. One. Thank you, babe. Okay.
I love it. See, he can do that on this side now.
Exactly. All right, let's go on. How about women want to be needed and valued?
Mm-hmm.
What y'all say about that one? Women want to
Absolutely.
be needed and valued.
Miss
Absolutely.
Katya, you want to take it or you want me to take it?
You can take this one. I'll caveat offer you.
Listen, you want to be, women want to feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves because you want to make a difference. You know, you were created to make a difference. And I feel like women want to be, they want to contribute. You know, it's not so much that other people are doing something. You want to build something. You want to be a part of a legacy. You want to be a part of something that's going to outlive you. And I believe women need community. We need each other.
Mhm.
Once upon a time, I didn't have too many women friends. I had maybe one or two. And that was later. That was after the foolish period. Because
Right.
during the foolish period, I didn't have any. And the reason I didn't have any is because I didn't trust women. I didn't like women. They were too catty for me. They always
Mhm.
want to fight and get in your business and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But in time, like I said, becoming a wise woman, learning, going through certain experiences, I have come to learn and grow that women need women. Women need solid women.
Yes.
We don't come knowing everything. And you want a mentor. You want somebody to show you how to do it right. Because we've been doing it wrong. Well, excuse me. I was doing it wrong for a long time.
For a long
And
time.
I
Yes,
needed
ma'am.
somebody to show me how to do it right. Because I wanted to honor God and I wanted to respect myself. So that's why that wanting to be needed, not in the way the world sees it. Because when the world says women want to be needed, it's a negative. And why do they say that? Because they find women to be needy, like they need stuff or
Mhm.
need a person. The only person that I need, like air to breathe, is Jesus. And the reason I say that is because I know that he's trustworthy. I know he will never leave me or forsake me. I love Mr. Doomerville. That's my heart right there. But one day he's gonna go by the way of all mankind. He's gonna cross over to the other side. You know, I don't know who's gonna go first, but if he go first, then he gone. I can't put all my everything in him and I give God what belongs to God, because what happens? When he gone, I'm gonna lay down and die? No, heaven forbid. I'm going to stand and I'm going to be fulfilled because I am complete. I'm complete in God. Because I'm complete in God, no matter what happens, no matter what circumstances come my way, I'm able to stand and stand therefore. Women, we need each other for that support, for that build up, for that encouragement, for sometimes for strength. Sometimes a woman understands another woman, and we can say, okay, we can give you a minute. You can rest for a minute, but then we're gonna get you up. Okay, it's time to wipe the tears. Time to get your battle ready clothes on, and it's time to fight. Let's do it.
That's it. Sometimes you need the opportunity to just be. You need the opportunity to cry, right? You need the opportunity, maybe even to yell, and have that friendship, that sisterhood, that community to where there's no judgment, and we let each other be, right? And then you say, all right, sis, you did all of that. Now come on, let's go. Let's get back to work. You can go through it, but you don't stay there.
Exactly.
That's right.
Good.
Lisa, you said it. Get up. We have to get back up. And we want to be needed, men. We want to be needed in the way that God designed us to be needed. We want to be needed in being included in decision making. We want to be needed in the aspect that we are the woman in your life. We want to be needed in being your best friend. We want to be needed in the areas of being your companion and being your prankster, because you still should be having fun. You still should be in the bed, caked up, as my kids call it. I have no idea what that means, by the way. Right? We call it cuddle because we old, y'all. Well, we're wise. But on a serious note, we want to feel needed. We want to know that there is no other woman that can replace us in terms of who we are as a whole.
Yes.
Right? For the man that God designed us for, because we were designed specifically for this one man, right? Because Eve was created specifically for Adam. So each woman, you have your own Adam, right? So if we don't feel needed, there's a piece of us that does not generate or is exactly processing or producing as we should, because we can't come to you and give you the fullness of us. So we need to be needed. We need to know that we're needed. And in turn, I believe that every man wants to feel needed. Because if you don't feel needed, people say, oh, I don't need a man. Honey, you do. You do. Yes, we know the Bible says that not everyone was called to be married. Now, those are the exceptions. Hey, Mr. Carey. That's our cheerleader right there.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. That's right.
There's no way I'm looking for another
one. No. So we need that. That is the catalyst for who God created us to be, because there will be nobody else that can replace you. No one that can be as effective as you for your God-designed mate. No one will be able to speak to that man the way that you will. And for the men, no other man will be able to speak to that woman the way that you will. She will not be able to respond the way that God designed her to respond for any other man. Right? And how do we know? We've been in relationships before we were married.
Come on.
And honey, they didn't work out. Right? They were, what does the world say? They were examples of what not to do.
What not to do. Exactly. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
And now we need our marriages are not perfect.
That's it.
Let's put that out there. It's not perfect, but they are healthy.
Yes.
We're communicating with one another. In a marriage, you have where you can communicate. You can agree to disagree and still respect each other. You have to get through the stage where you get over all the other stuff and into the place where you can be needed, where you can be effective for the mate that God has called you to be. And that takes work. And this is the work today. We're doing the work, ladies.
And can I add to that? There
Uh-huh.
are no shortcuts. You've
Oh.
talked about that, Miss Katya, about putting in the work. And if you're listening to this broadcast, you're serious about the work. And we want you to expand your network and share this with others, because you know what? Some people don't even know that they have work to do.
Mhm.
And so that's why these type of resources, this type of open door, is to facilitate that healthy growth in relationships. And if this is giving value to you, please share it with somebody else. Because you know what? Whether they tell you or not, everybody's looking for the same thing. Everyone wants to be in an effective, healthy relationship. And I want to add, if you Google me, Dominique Dumerville, I have another book out, and it's called The ABCs of Healthy Relationships.
Come on, Miss T.
I've been doing this for a little while. So check me out on Amazon. And if you're really interested, go DM me, and I'll meet you, and I will even autograph it for you.
All right.
We
And
love
you get
that.
a 10% discount if you're a viewer, a faithful viewer of A Father's Note.
Yes, you have to mention that, A Father's Note.
You have to mention that.
Okay.
I digress. I'm sorry.
For those that are just signing on, that's coming in now, if you want, you still have time to put in the chat what wise women want. What is it that you want? You want to let your man, your mate that's on the way, you want to let them know what is it that you want. Put that in the chat and we'll discuss it. We're going to go ahead and move on. Our next one is women want to be challenged.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start it out because I kind of already gave away what I was going to say in reference to the business. And yes, I do. I want to be challenged. I want to be challenged to learn different things. I want to be challenged to grow. I want to be challenged to expand. You know, I wasn't just put here just to be, I don't mind. Don't get me wrong. I love being a wife and a mother. I love it to the end. Okay. But there's other things in me, even besides Sugar Shack. There's more things, more gifts inside of me besides Sugar Shack. So I need to be challenged. I need that push. Listen, ladies, let me tell you something. You might think sometimes we go out there and we get in God's way. We go out there and try to make things happen, make relationships happen. But that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to wait for him to bring that man to you. Okay? Don't go out there and try to pick this one and clean him up and make him to be going to be in for a rude awakening.
You are not the cleanup woman.
Listen,
not the cleanup woman.
And you cleaning it up for another woman, you not cleaning it up for you?
Hello. Especially if he didn't even marry you. You've given him what? 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years of your life, and he never put a ring on it.
Time to move on.
Okay. No.
Move on.
That's not what we're
Move
doing.
on.
That is not what we're doing.
That's not what wise women do.
No.
It is not. That's okay. That's what you don't want to do. Okay.
After you've assessed that situation, after you've assessed that relationship, and after you have prayed all the prayers of, oh God, give me a sign if he's not the one to leave. Honey, that was the sign.
Hello. When he didn't marry you, that's the sign.
Leave.
Okay.
And if he is, when after you leave, we're not telling you to leave. We're saying, we're giving you some wisdom. If he is the one and he still needed to be worked on, 8 out of 10 times, God is not going to work on him while you're in the picture. Being his God. You cannot be his God and rescue him. Only his creator can rescue him.
True.
Right? And when you give him to God, give him over to God and you leave.
Yes.
And you say, God, you do what you need to do. If
Mhm.
he's the one, when you're done with him, you'll bring him back. And I promise you, he'll come back.
That's
Just-
right. If it was meant, if he
I
was
love it.
one, he
Oh
would.
my God.
Right. We don't build men.
Mm-mm.
We do not build men.
Mm-mm.
God builds the man.
It's true.
God makes him. God cleans him up, right? Not you. You work on you. You continue being who God has called
That's
you
it.
to be. And if you have not found out who God has called you to be, I'm telling you, get into your prayer closet, get into your worship, work on you, learn to fall in love with you again, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Learn to fall in love with God again,
Mhm.
because he's the cleanup man.
That's
Yeah.
it.
And to go to the back to the what women want to be challenged.
Mm-hmm.
I have a personal preference. I love intelligence on a man. I can't begin with no dumb man.
All right now.
Listen, intelligence is very sexy to me.
Yes.
It's just it just does something to me.
Yes.
So listen, a woman wants a man who's going to respect her opinion, respect her intelligence,
Yes.
and will challenge her to be more than what even she thinks she can be.
Come on.
Yep. And mature women, ladies, we're very self-reflective. We want to be a better versions of ourselves. And we don't do that by ourselves. And it's not done in isolation. It's done, the work is done in secret, in that prayer closet that Ms. Katya was talking about. The work is done in how you speak. The work is done in what you write. The work is done in how you treat people. All of those factors will go into becoming that mature, wise woman. And let me tell you, wise women get noticed because
Yes, they do.
you see skank out there. You see all kinds of stuff out there. And you know what?
Did
The
she
fellas do not even,
Yes, she
that don't
did.
even move them. Man, last week, didn't y'all see One Night with the King? What did she do? She challenged his mind and he couldn't get his mind off of her.
That's it.
Guys, I'm trying to tell you something. Listen,
Mm-hmm. Well,
intelligent
look what,
conversation.
Mr. Kerry
Thank
Johnson
you.
said. Mr. Kerry Johnson said, right. Challenge us too, ladies.
Come on. And I wanted to caveat off of that, right? Ladies, if you take your clothes off first and you give him the goods first, honey, you are not a challenge.
Mm-mm.
You didn't challenge him,
Nope, not at all.
right?
Next.
Listen, in reference to that movie, isn't that what the previous women were doing?
Yep.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought. And who did he choose? Did he choose one of them?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
That's it. You have to
I
challenge
said
him.
that last week. It's not about taking off the clothes.
Nope.
It's not
Mm-mm.
about that.
Mm-mm.
When you're
Mm-mm.
younger, now, when you're younger, you think that.
You
When
do.
you're younger, you think that what the Lord has blessed you with, you can control someone with.
Mm.
Honey, eventually that control wears off.
Yes.
And that control is witchcraft.
Mm.
Don't use it for that. That's not what it was intended for.
Dropped. Yep. Well,
It's witchcraft. I don't care what your grandmother told you or what your mama told you. It's witchcraft.
mm-mm.
That's not what God intended it for. You cannot control someone
Anyway.
with your wonderful gifts.
Mm-mm.
Okay? So let's stop right there with that.
Right there.
But you can challenge a man. When you challenge him, he considers you differently. He sees you differently. You give him an opportunity to think. You give him an opportunity to rise to the occasion, to meet your goals, to meet and to become the man that he's supposed to be. You push him into a place where he can become self-reflective, right?
Come on.
If you don't know yourself, what your standards are, what the standards of God are for you, if you don't know what you want, how is he supposed to give you what you want?
Come on.
If you can't communicate that effectively, Because I remember when we first got married, I used to tell my husband, well, you're not doing the things that I want. He was like, well, what do you want? I didn't even know what I wanted.
And
thus,
we're having
what
these
wise
conversations.
women want.
That's it.
And I took the time, and he kept looking, and he kept pushing and saying, what is it that you want? I had to take a step back, take a look at me, and begin to say, this is what I want. Okay, if I want something over here, I need to be able to write it so that I can tell him what I want without beating him over the head with it. You can drop the mic. Without beating him over the head. You tell him what you want, you pray about it. If he's not in that place yet, if you are already married, and then you let God do the work.
Let God do the work, not you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-mm.
And that's the area where men want to be challenged.
Off of what Miss D said about an intelligent man, that's one of the things that I love about my boo. Very intelligent, very analytical. He's a thinker. I mean, he would think anything through. Okay. Everything. He always, and I love that about him. I love he speaks so eloquently, even when he's, with his brawn, it's still making sense.
Okay.
I love that about him. So when you said that, an intelligent man, listen,
Yes,
homeboy can drop some words, y'all. You got some skill.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
An intelligent man really awakens your intelligence.
Yes.
Right there. Right there.
Because if he's a reader, he's going to have a different type of conversation.
And that's
Come
him.
on.
He's not going to be playing the video games. We don't have anything against video games. I'm just saying.
I don't think I ever seen him play one.
Never seen mine play one. So
okay.
So that being said, ladies, if he's a reader and he's a thinker, that's where you pull up. That's where he challenges you. And you should rise to the occasion. If he says, babe, you always on the phone, but I haven't seen you pick up a book, he's saying something to you.
Yes.
That dialogue needs to be had. Wow. Where you can push yourself to be better. You're not doing it just for him, because at the end of the day, the results are going to be for you. Right?
I like what Mr. Johnson said. He said, Mr. Carey, he said, you took it away. He says, correct. Gently convey what you want. We're listening. Then he also says, I like that, Mrs. Katya. An intelligent man awakens intelligence.
Yes, he does.
That's awesome. That's awesome right there.
Amen.
Okay. We got two more.
Okay.
Women want to be desired.
Oh, yeah. Listen, why do you think that hair, nails, and makeup is $1 billion
industry?
Okay.
And that being said, ladies, I have Mahogany Jewels Hair Salon. So
yes,
you'd like to get this haircut, y'all come on and see me. I have a Tuesday special to help you with hair care, right? Check out my DM on Facebook or Instagram. It's KGodChosen3 and hit me up.
That's it.
And on that note, listen, being desired. Yes, I talked about the hair, nails, makeup. Of course, that's the external. But the real desire is, we already talked about stimulating the mind, but stimulating his spirit. Yes. A woman who knows how to talk to a man, if you could speak into his spirit and his spirit responds, you're already there. You are already there. And I believe that's what happened when I met Mr. Dumerville. Because I spoke into his spirit, and when I spoke into his spirit responded, and he found his rhythm. Yes. He wasn't looking for nothing else after that.
That's exactly what happened with us. Exactly.
All three of us.
Yes.
Come on, Mr. Carey.
And if you also want to be desired, see, upkeep. Women work very hard for their upkeep. Gentlemen, don't be slack in your upkeep because it's important. You want a trophy wife? That's fine. We trophy all day long. And it's not about the measurements. It's about what we carry. Yeah. And what we carry is the anointing.
That's it.
Don't play with me tonight. Don't play with me.
Yes. And that was one of the things too. I think I remember the first time my husband came to church, and I would always pray with him before and whatnot. But when the man sees that you are in position before the Lord, mm-hmm. My husband came home and he was like, "Yeah, girl, we gonna get married because I love the way you love God." And not only that, I think one of the things that he said as our wedding vows was the fact that he said, babe, if you're on, you can type it in how you quoted it because I don't want to misquote you. And he said, "I love the way you love my soul." Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So loving his soul meant praying for him. Mm-hmm. And ladies, guess what? Come a little closer, y'all.
Okay.
You can correct him when he's wrong, but you got to do it the right way, right? Like in love, right? Mm-hmm. So if he was wrong about something, we're gonna keep the men out real quick. So sidebar, guys, right? So we're gonna have to move y'all over here a little bit. You can correct him when he's wrong, but it's how you do it. You don't embarrass him. You don't humiliate him. You don't talk down to him. He's not one of your kids. He's not the dog. I know that's how mama said it, and that's how grandmama and them did it, right? But you have to do it a different way. In the kingdom, we do it differently. Yep. Mm-hmm. We do it with love. We do it with honor. We do it with respect. And that is another way, okay, for them to see you and see you.
You got to know how to speak to your king.
Yeah.
You got to know. And you got to know when to speak.
Timing.
Yes, those are things that you have to learn. I knew when to go to him and when not to. Mm-hmm. Come on.
Now, I had to learn that one. I was so bad with timing, y'all. Mm-hmm.
But we're better now.
We are.
Because we're wise women now.
Wise women.
This tidbit, women want to be desired, and I saw it in Mr. Johnson room, men want to be desired too. Women have a knowledge and a look. We can look into our husband's eyes and know exactly what he's thinking. He's thinking, meet me at the spot. Mm-hmm. Okay? He's thinking, look, I need you right now. So wherever you are, get to where you need to be so that we can be together.
Drop the dishes. Drop the kids.
Yay. And I'm keeping it on the real. There's sometimes, listen, it's okay. We can do that. We can drop it like it's hot. And it's okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can do that.
Nothing is more sexy.
Let me tell you a little joke. I believe it was Talicia's 14th birthday. And we let her have a party here. Mm-hmm. And y'all, listen, I used to love Beyonce. That was my girl. And there was this one song about the one with the patch your weave and drop down and all of that. Well, that song was playing. And when she said drop down and get your something on, I dropped down to the floor and I was down there with the kids just bouncing and just, shaking that. And they start tapping me on the shoulder. And I turned around and he was there looking. look like you don't get up off that floor. Listen, the funny part was when the party was over, he said, "You ain't never drop it like that for me." I never saw that before. So I had to put the song on it.
Well, and that's
Come on,
what
ladies.
wise women
Come on.
do.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
That's my husband. I can drop it for him.
Thank
You
you.
better say that.
Mhm. Oh, and
And
that's the
nothing
other
is
thing.
more beautiful than a confident woman.
That's
That
it. You have to
listen,
be confident about
walk
you.
in that.
Yes.
We don't look like what we've been through.
Come on.
But I praise God that He has brought us to a place that we are so complete in Him. Everything else is gravy.
Everything.
And we do have some nice, listen, we respect our husbands and they are all that and a bag of chips. But our first husband,
Yes.
he's the one who completes us. He's the one who puts that shine and that glory in us. He's the one who puts that desire in us.
Oh, we running out of time. Okay, we better move on, ladies.
Okay.
I'll go hit. Let me a second.
Go ahead.
And that's the thing. We can't be so heavenly minded that we're no earthly good, ladies,
Mm-mm.
right? Because we know a lot of women. I hope none of y'all on here, but if you are, honey, be that man's wife in every aspect. And if that's dropping it, you drop it. Okay? Get you some Teddy Pendergrass and drop it. Okay? All that Ashandarabasandorabasa. We do all of that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
At midnight or at 6 a.m.
Hey.
or at noon, we're dropping it.
Like it's hot. Okay.
And offer no apology.
None.
Oh, because let me tell you something. If you don't drop it,
somebody else will.
Somebody else will. All right, we moving on. Trust. Women want to be trusted.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now listen. This one here. Marriage has to be built on trust. Okay. I trust him. I trust this guy not only with my life, but with my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so grateful that we don't have trust issues because I know a lot of marriages do.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, he and I, we don't go searching through each other's phones. We don't go looking through stuff, purses, wallets, this and that. We don't do that because we fully trust each other. This man trusts me with his life, with his heart, trust me to help raise his children, because we're a blended family, just as I trust him with helping to raise my daughter. And that's big. Okay. He trusts me with his money.
Mm-hmm. Say that.
He trusts me enough to, that I pursue God for myself. It's not about him. It's my relationship with the Lord. And I help keep God in this house. All our children know the Lord. Okay. No, he fully, completely trusts me. And I'm grateful we don't have those issues because when I was in the world, everybody I dated cheated. Everybody I dated stepped out. They did. That's what they did. But I'm so grateful to God that we don't have those issues.
And
say you ladies.
Well, I'm thinking about women want to be trusted. If a man opens up to you and he is allowed to be vulnerable before you, That is a gift. And
Yeah.
I want to speak to the women, ladies, don't take that for joke.
Mm-mm.
Even in Proverbs 31, it says, the heart of her husband does safely trust, meaning he can lay his head on you and you will not hurt him. You will not uncover him. You will not expose him, but you will pray for him. You will cover him. You will protect him. I think about the lions. A lioness is no joke. Do you know the lioness is more fierce than a lion?
Mm-hmm.
The lioness will protect and cover.
Yeah.
And that's what God calls kingdom women to do, to protect and to cover.
Yes.
Um,
Can I read that?
Go ahead.
I did write it down. Proverbs 31, verses 10 through 12. It says, who could find a virtuous woman? But her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. Now that's trust right there.
That's trust.
It is.
And when trust is broken,
Mm,
will you still be that virtuous woman?
mm.
Come
Will
on.
you still cover and protect?
Come on.
Because that's what wise women do.
Yep.
The trust. Do you trust God? Wise women.
Get that
Do
relation.
you trust God?
No.
Because if you trust God with your heart, can you trust him with his heart? Goes back to the book.
That's it.
That's it. Can I caveat off of that? And then as you're talking about trust, women want a man that we can trust as well. And in us trusting you, we can trust you to correct us in love when we're wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't leave us by the wayside to see us fall, right? A woman wants to know that you trust her enough, that she's safe enough to be able to be corrected by you without feeling beat down, disrespected, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be embarrassed. So that's another need that we really have that ties into that trust. We have to trust the men, and ladies, you have to trust the man when he's correcting you.
Yes.
Because you trusted him enough to marry him. You have to trust him enough when he's correcting you.
Yes.
And there is no intimacy without trust.
Trust.
How can you go into that place
Right.
without the trust?
Come on.
You can do the mechanics, but where is the intimacy?
Exactly.
Where is that oneness? Without the trust, all
It's
you
not
have is
full.
acrobatics.
Yeah, it's not full and it's not complete. There's a scripture. What's the scripture? It says, and when your love is made perfect, perfect love casts out fear. Right? So when your love is made perfect in God, right? When you've gone through the processing, through the procedure of God processing you, where every relationship prior that you may have been cheated on and that you may have cheated on, right?
Exactly.
So you still have to go through that process to make your love perfect again. That means healing. That means deliverance. That means self-reflection. That means doing the work. That means taking a step back. If and when you think your mate may be doing something questionable, right? And asking the Holy Spirit, is this my pain in my past talking to me? Is this the enemy bringing a wedge of division? Does this have substantial evidence before you go and do something crazy?
Yep. That's one right there.
Yeah. Because we said it at the very beginning, at the top of the hour, the enemy hates marriage.
Marriages.
Yes.
And he will try anything. He will use your fears, your past, your insecurities. He'll use anything to, to form that wedge, that division. Because if he can get in there and he can cause division, then he can get you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. And then he won't have to do anything else.
Mm-mm.
Because you'll be the very weapon used to destroy yourself and your
Yep.
marriage. 801.
Okay. Well, that concludes our 5 for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our completed list. If you have any ladies, if you have, or gentlemen, that you don't see on this list and you want to add, you can do so at this time. But our 10 was women want a man that loves God and honors God, loves and honors God first. Women want to be loved. Women want to be protected. Women want to be provided for.
Mm-hmm.
Women want to be a man's first choice. Women want to create and be nurtured. Women want to be needed and valued. Women want to be challenged. Women want to be desired. Women want to be trusted. That was our list. And we're coming up to the end. So, ladies, we're going to wrap up tonight's broadcast with what were your top 3?
Mm-hmm. Type them in the chat.
Actually, did you all have an order? Audience, did you have an order out of all 10? Which one was your first and which one was your last?
Mm-hmm.
Great list and explanations. Thank you, sir.
And we kind of alluded to it. Since we're speaking from a woman's perspective, we said what wise women want.
Mm-hmm.
And what we found out is that men want the same things too.
Yes.
So we hope that this blessed both men and women. And so, ladies, we want you to know that you too can be a wise woman, and wise women know how to treat their men. So now you have insight to go in and to bless them and to honor them and to be that helpmate, be that person that they desire, or be that person that they trust. So it works both ways.
Okay.
Oh.
Have women want to be understood. Women want to be heard, Mrs. Nia Johnson. That's
awesome.
Good. That's great.
Amen. I love Tanya Green's.
Tanya Green. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
She says her number 1 is protected. Number 2, provided for.
Crystal, I saw her comment. I had a hard time with mine, and I had to take a little time out to really think about, because at every stage as a wife and a woman, you know, you change, you grow, right? So I had to take the time out to assess me from 5 years ago, what I wanted 5 years ago versus what I want now. What's more important now? Because as you progress, you know, your needs change, your wants and your desires change. So take a few minutes and just really look at what you want right now, where you are, what's most important when you wake up in the morning. What's the first thing that you say? Oh, I feel this way. This is, you know, what I want and what I need for myself, without thinking of what your husband needs.
Mm-hmm.
Because, ladies, you do have to take that time out for yourself to think about what you need outside of what your husband needs, because we're nurturers. We'll first go, okay, well, my husband needs, okay, well, the household needs, the children needs.
Right.
Take the time out for you to assess, evaluate, and check you. So,
Yep.
Okay, that's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we are going to go ahead and end this broadcast. We've actually went over our time, but this was great. And I hope you all, if you are married, you can take this list, a copy of this list. I hope you took a photo, took a picture of it when we had the list up. And you all can just sit down and go through this, talk it through. And said, if there was some things on the list that didn't make the list or you think need to be on the list, add it to the list. Do a date night. Do a date night and just sit down and discuss it.
yes.
Some wings and, you know, some
And some Sherelle Sugar Shack desserts.
okay.
Listen, I don't know what y'all missing. If you have not ordered, I'm telling you, that crunch cake, that strawberry shortcake, I don't know what it's called. And the red velvet cake. Listen.
Yes, thank you. So that concludes our broadcast for this evening. We love you all and thank you so much for participating. And until next month, you know what wise women want. Have a